All right, everybody. James Bellini here. COVER1 pregame show. Going to bring in my co-host, Ryan Chadwick. Chadwick, how's it going?
Final week of the season, man. Week 11. It's been a crazy ride, but hey, we're almost geared up and ready to go for playoffs.
I know, man. It seems just like yesterday we were like, when's the season going to start? Like, we were going to two-a-day practices, and now postseason's here. How do you feel about that?
Dude, it's been a crazy year. Some teams have been as good as I thought they were. Some others have really underperformed. But we pretty much got every single district champion decided. We got a couple more games, especially in that six-man division here in the Concho Valley that we still have to decide.
Our six-man division.
Yeah, our six-man division. But other than that, yeah, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for playoffs.
All right, so am I, man. So without further ado, we'll talk about Central Frenship when we come back with this quick message from the Bass Bunch.
You're in the 23 Ford F-150 XLT. This truck offers so much, like blind spot sensors, accent step bars, and the XLT Appearance Package wheels give it a polished look. And the price is hard to beat at $12,000 in total savings.
Only at Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart at Arden Road, or 24/7 at jimbassford.com.
Yep, $12,000 in total savings.
All right, our first game this week, we're going to have the San Angelo Central Bobcats hosting the Frenship Tigers. And everybody, I know this season hasn't exactly been what Bobcats fans wanted, but as we've said several times throughout this year, this is a very young team. Several sophomores starting on that lineup. We even got a freshman on the roster, But with that being said, they've been in pretty much every game they've played this year, and I honestly don't think tonight will be any different. They host the Frenship Tigers at San Angelo Stadium for a little Bobcat night. I know that's going to be a lot of fun for those little kids and their parents. The little kids get to run out on the field and whatnot. And to be honest, James, I honestly think that this Bobcat team can pull off an upset. We know how good they are offensively, and I don't think Frenship's any better on defense than Central is when it comes to stopping a very potent offense. So I don't know, man. I think Central can do it.
Right. Let's talk about what do you think Central's chances are in? I mean, we know Hutchinson is throwing for several miles already this year and thousands of points. How do you think Central can win this one?
I mean, they're going to have to get Frenship to turn the ball over. I don't really see the defense stopping them, but they can at least slow them down. I was talking to Coach Crane at his press conference on Monday, and he really reiterated time of possession. If Central can kind of control the clock, extend drives, instead of exploding for a big play and scoring in 2 plays, which would be awesome. If they can turn that into an 8 to 12 play drive, that's going to take 5 to 6 minutes off the clock every time they touch the ball. But Central's big problem, James, in the last couple of weeks is they get down inside their opponent's 10-yard line, but once they get there, they can't get in the end zone. So the difference in this game is going to be whether or not the defense can turn Frenship over a couple times and whether the offense can actually punch it in when they get there.
All right, Chadwick, when is this game? Where is this game?
Okay, so this game is going to be tonight at San Angelo Stadium at 7 p.m. Remember, this is Little Bobcat night. So if you have a child that really wants to run on the field with the rest of the Bobcats, they have to meet at, I'm pretty sure it's the north end zone. Fact check me on that one when y'all get there. But I do know that one of the stadium officials will help escort your child down to the field, and they'll be able to lead the Bobcats out of the tunnel. So it's going to be a good time.
All right. Well, there you have it. And, of course, our Bobcat coverage is brought to you by Angelo Bolt. Opened in 1994, Angelo Bolt Industrial Supplies has served the Concho Valley for 29 years and counting. Angelo Bolt is the go-to place for fasteners, power tools, air compressors, safety equipment, and everything in between. Chances are, Angelo Bolt will always have what you need when you need it. And when the rare chance that they don't have that odd fastener or special part you're looking for, they'll find it fast. No request is too big or too small at Angelo Bolt at 808 Warehouse Road, where customer service is their top priority. Thank you, Angelo Bolt, for bringing us, Chadwick and the crew, the Central Bobcats game tonight.
All right, James, well, let's go ahead and move into that next game. It's our second matchup of the night. We got two teams that we don't really feature that much. just because we have so many in this Concho Valley. But tonight, the Ballinger Bearcats are going to travel to Grape Creek to face the Eagles. Now, James, Grape Creek got their first win in over 700 days last week and a huge upset over Brady. Just go ahead and break this one down for me.
Yeah, Grape Creek, they don't put their stats in max preps or anything like that, so it's hard to really kind of figure out where they're at. Ballinger hasn't. Ballinger's actually played really good football all year. They just haven't been able to get wins. They haven't been able to stack any W's, When I was at that Brady game that Ballinger played, and Ballinger actually jumped out on them pretty good and scored first, and it looked like it was going to go Ballinger's way, and then Brady kind of pulled it back around. Now, Grape Creek, they got their first win last week against Brady, and in the Mud Bowl, I guess that's what you could call it.
Heavy rain, yeah.
And that I think everybody knows that interview with Coach Teal at the end was just gold. All his players covered in mud, giving them hugs and everything. That was great. We all, we love that here at San Angelo Live. And but this one, we even, kind of foreshadowing in the show, we talked to a Grape Creek coach earlier this week. He said they're kind of hitting their stride, and Ballinger's hitting their stride, and this is just going to be a good one. And I think I picked Grape Creek in this one because, well, spoilers, because it's at home for Grape Creek, and I think that they are just going to be able to pull off the upset in a low-scoring game.
All right, James. Well, with that being said, though, let's kind of play the other side now. In the last 4 games since district started, Ballinger's offense finally found their footing after putting up several zeros on the scoreboard, multiple weeks in a row. When they hit district, they scored 6 points against Wall, and after that, they've scored 20 or more points every single week. So how are the Bearcats actually going to pull this one off?
Man, I think they were just they're kind of forged by fire. We talked about, Brady facing that gauntlet of Coleman, and they scrimmaged Lano, and then they played Comanche and Mason. Yeah. You look at Ballinger's schedule. They played
the exact same teams almost. Yeah.
Sonora, Stamford, Coleman, all these teams, or Clyde. All these teams are like 4 or basically almost perfect on the season, or maybe one or 2 losses each. They are the same. They just played an incredibly tough schedule. I think that might help them out in this one, but I think the Grape Creek Eagles are just rolling too high.
I mean, momentum is a thing, and so if Grape Creek can build off of what they did last week, because
one play can spark your season, man.
Yeah, Yantis Green, our scorekeeper, was the only one to pick, the Eagles. The Creek, he said he was riding with the Creek last week. So that was a major upset, and Brady has been up and down all season, but at the end of the day, when they put it all together, they're a really good football team. I think the biggest factor in last week's game was the weather. The fact it was raining so hard, Brady couldn't really throw the ball. I think Grape Creek's defense held them to 13 passing yards the whole game and 158 total yards. So, if Grape Creek can do that again to Ballinger, I agree. I think Grape Creek can snag the win. But, I won't give anything away, but I might not exactly feel that way in my picks. But, James, go ahead and tell me where this thing's at.
This game is in Grape Creek at 7 o'clock. So, got nothing to do tonight. You want to go watch just a hard-nosed football game, head on out to Grape Creek. And our Grape Creek coverage is brought to you by Hartman Roofing. This next, if you want to stay in the game, don't get beat over the top. At Hartman Roofing, the proof is in the roof. From residential houses to commercial buildings, Hartman Roofing is the roofer you can trust to do it right and do it right the first time. To get a quote today, call Hartman Roofing at 325-653-2888. All right, Chadwick, we are coming back to you. We are going to now talk about the Wall Brady game.
All right, so the Wall Hawks host the Brady Bulldogs this week in a game where Wall can secure its another outright district championship. I wasn't going to say first or second. I don't even know how many it is at this point. But yeah, the Brady Bulldogs come to town after losing that heartbreaker to Grape Creek and Brady last week. So I personally think that Brady's going to come correct. I know Coach Roberts is going to be like, hey, guys, that loss was inexcusable. We need to play better. We need to do better. And so while I don't think it's really going to matter in the end, I do think Brady's going to come fired up. And this was a matchup last year where Wall barely won. I think the final score was 10-7. So Brady plays tough football. And I know that they will continue to play tough football, but on the other side of the field, on that other sideline, it's the Wall Hawks, and the Wall Hawks have just been on a mission ever since they kind of got embarrassed by Mason. Like, I know the game was at home against the Punchers and other old rivals, but Wall was supposed to win that game, and when they didn't, you could tell like that bothered the entire roster. You could tell Coach Guy and the rest of the coaching staff was bothered by it, and ever since then, they're averaging on offense more than 60 points a game. The defense hasn't allowed more than 7 points a game in that span, or on average. I think one of them was 12 points, but like 5 points, ooh, big difference. So
right.
like basically they're on a tear right now.
There's such a machine out there at Wall too. It's such a. There's just a set way of doing things out there, and they all follow that.
It's a system, man.
It's the system, and they are so good at just doing what they do, what can Brady do in this one, though? What can Coach Roberts tell his team to, hey, they're not unbeatable.
Yeah.
Let's go try to get one.
Like, and the Walls proved that they're not unbeatable on 2 different occasions this year. Now, like the kind of caliber of opponent they were playing, both state-ranked teams at the time, or actually, I don't even know if Mason's still not state-ranked, Rank them, Dave Campbell's, you cowards, But
give the Contra Valley some love.
Yeah, seriously though,
I've been saying it all year, Chadwick, and they haven't been listening.
Mason is a state contender. I agree with you.
And we could see a Contra Valley state championship.
That would be incredible for like the entire community at large. But let's get back to your original question.
Yeah, we're getting off point.
How can Brady win this game? Brady can win this game if they limit their penalties and they turn the Hawks over. The Hawks are not infallible on offense. They have a really hard time of hanging on to that football at times during this season. They put the ball on the turf several times, especially when you run that triple option offense. The ball it changes hands a lot, and it comes off a lot of reads. So let's say Gunnar Dillard is putting in Nathan Pepper's stomach. He's running through the line, and then Pepper thinks Dillard's going to take it, and Dillard's think Pepper's going to take it, and they drop it. And, we literally saw Central lose a game because of an exchange like that earlier this year against Midland High. So I think that's Brady's best bet. They're going to have to get, and I'm not even going to say 1. It's going to have to be at least 2. Make Wall throw the ball. And the only way to do that is to put Wall behind the 8 ball. And I think that's how Brady can do it, James. It's not going to happen. I think Wall's going to put up 50 or more points, and they're going to allow like 5.
Again, Wall is such a system out there and they have such a way. But let's not. I don't want to take anything away from Brady. I've been covering them all season, and Coach Roberts, his team, they're a young team, and they are talented, but they do show their youth, and that's. All that's just going to come with more game experience, coming up.
Well, and I know that Brady kind of has the same issue that Central does at times. Like their youth shows in the worst possible moments, whether it be penalties or turnovers or something. And so I know that Brady has grown as a football team. The Bulldogs have gotten better in many areas, but like there are times where if you get up on Brady quick, sometimes it's hard for them to bring it back. So overall, Brady needs to go out there and just play hard, and Wall needs to go out there and take care of business. And if they do, they're going to win that district championship.
All right, Chadwick, where is this one and when is it?
This one's going to be at Hawk Stadium tonight out in Wall at 7 p.m.
All right. It's going to be a good one out there in Wall this evening. Our Brady coverage, though, is brought to you by Destination Ford. All of our coverage of the Brady Bulldogs is brought to you by Brady's hometown car dealership, Destination Ford of Brady. Leading Brady's hometown car dealership is General Manager Mark Smith. He and his team are 100% behind the Brady Bulldogs. Every week, Destination Ford of Brady offers their Bulldog deal. This week, the Bulldog deal is the 2023 Ford F-150 that comes with 3.9% interest with approved credit and $2,000 in bonus cash. Mark Smith said there are 14 trucks on the lot right now in 9 different colors and 14 trim options. This extensive coverage of the Brady Bulldogs is brought to you by Destination Ford of Brady, 110 South Bridge Street in downtown Brady, where you can get the Bulldog deal.
All right, we are finally at 6-man football. So, James, take us away. What's that matchup between Veribest and Irion County looking like tonight?
It's looking like a good one. This is going to probably be a district championship. This is one of the power 6-man districts. Last year, Irion County and Menard came out of this district, and they were, it was really solid. They made it pretty deep. This year though, this is getting, I don't think it's quite Robert Lee yet. They're not stuck in that number 2 spot. It kind of depends on what happens between Veribest and Irion County. Irion County, of course, has the Warriors 3 and Colton Loudermilk, Parker Posey, and Wyatt Morris. They are 3 very, very good players. And, of course, they have Tyler Henderson and all those other guys out there who are, big-time contributors. And over there in Veribest, they were, 8-0 for a reason at one point. They have Hunter Hallmark, who was the 1A, quarterback of the week 1 week, and sophomore Bryce Martin, who is kind of a do-it-all player for them, the Army of 2 out there. This is going to be a great matchup between 2 very talented teams, and this is not going to be a 45 situation. This is going to be a fourth quarter, down to the last moment. This might come down to a missed kick type deal.
Yeah, well, what I want to say, what impresses me most about Irion County is last year they graduated 3 very talented players that basically were their team. They're a big portion of their offense, and they're their playmakers on defense. But shout out to that coaching staff out there, because you graduate that caliber of talent, and then you just come back the next year and you find yourself almost in the exact same place. I know they had a little bit of growing pains earlier in the season, but since then they've just been rolling over dudes. So with that being said, after Veribest's hot start and they lost that game to Robert Lee right after that, what is it going to take for the Falcons to win this game?
Man, I think it's just getting the ball to your playmakers, and trying to get out to a lead over Irion County. Irion County, you're right. Kofel and Bomar, I think I might have recorded my favorite play last year was a pass from Kofel to Morrow. That was just a beautiful thing, and they've graduated now. It's those 3, the big 3 down there who need to play together, and they need they're gonna have to corral Bryce Martin. Bryce Martin's a very talented player, and Hunter Hallmark's a very talented quarterback out there at Veribest. So Veribest needs to get those 2 players going, and they need to get them set up in a position to take over this game.
Well, and I know that Veribest likes to sling the ball around, but one thing Irion County does really well, even at the 6-man level, is run the ball. And you don't really see that all the time, but especially at a really high level. But Irion County loves to run the ball. They got multiple running backs with over 500-600 yards rushing this year. So on Irion County's side, do you think it's going to be a time of possession thing? Do you think it's going to be they're just going to try to physically dominate you for the entire game?
Man, I've been getting stats from Coach Harrison over the past few weeks, and Wyatt Morris has ripped off run after run. He had it's an 80-yard field in 6-man. He ripped a 79-yard run last
Gotta
week.
love that.
So they are very talented, and I think that's just should be Irion County's game plan coming in this one. Is just get those 3 players involved, and keep Veribest on the sidelines. Keep Hunter Hall. I guess it's 6-man, so you can't really keep playing. Their best player is always going to be out there. Yeah. But keep them on defense, keep them on their heels. Take care of the football. Don't turn it over.
Tire them out.
Exactly. It's 6-man. There's passes. There's backwards passes. You can get real creative with it. And some teams just get it, and these 2 teams absolutely do. So.
All right, James, when and where is this matchup at tonight?
This matchup is in Irion County tonight at 7:30. So, coming off of that.
7:30.
7:30, yep.
Do they do later starts because sometimes teams get 45, do you think?
Maybe. That might be why. But
I don't think so. I think someone just
I think maybe it's just 7:30, Games are shorter. There's only 6 people on the field type of deal. There's a lot of onside kick attempts and everything because there are less people out there. So, all right. Intertel is a proud sponsor of COVER1 football coverage. Intertel has been providing cutting-edge but proven technology for homes and businesses in the Concho Valley. Just like the game of football, a good defense is important to winning. Need a security system or cameras? Get a free quote today by visiting Intertel.com or by calling 325-658-8375. Now coming back. All right, Chadwick, let's talk about our interview this week. we went out to Grape Creek and we were trying to get Coach Teal. What did Coach Teal say?
Coach Teal said, hey, man, I would much rather you talk to one of my assistants. I am always on camera. I was just on camera last week, and so that's what he did. He went ahead and hooked us up with their special teams special teams coordinator and D-line coach. And
Hey, he's calling what's happening out there. We call him quarterback.
yeah, right? Honestly, though, it was a great interview, James, so go ahead. Introduce us and take it away.
All right, here is Grape Creek's assistant, Collin Barnes.
If you're looking for a spacious SUV, this is probably a top pick. The rear spoiler and the roof rack just add to give it a sportier and more polished look. Oh, did I mention we discounted it $6,000 off MSRP?
Get a new 24 Nissan Murano Platinum and get $6,000 off MSRP. Jim Bass Nissan, Houston Hart at Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Don't you just love it?
I'm feeling great, man. Thank y'all for having me on. I can't lie. I thought my head coach was playing a joke on me when I first got that text message, because I was like, surely they do not need to talk to me because I am low on that totem pole. But thank y'all for having me on. Oh man, man, I always it's kind of crazy, but like I'm just kind of wired this way. I've had a count going for every day since our last win, which I use as kind of like a motivating factor. And we had hit, I think it was like 714 days. So we were, saying we were like hungry for that one was kind of an understatement. The kids came out, we had the rain delay, we had the bad weather, and honestly, their energy and how they responded to that was incredible. I mean, it was one of the most fun games I've ever been a part of. And I had actually told them before the game, like I had talked to my defensive line guys, and I said, hey, like when y'all go out there and play this one, when we win this game, like, don't do it for anybody other than y'all, because these kids, I mean, nobody sees how much work they put into it. And I mean, just like with any coaches is, I mean, we devote so much time to this throughout the week. And when you don't get the result that you want, obviously, I mean, you're disappointed and you want to go like 10 times harder for the next one. And these kids are the same way. I mean, they've been wanting this for a while. So to get one against Brady in those kind of conditions, I mean, it was huge for us. Honestly, our key really every single week, as far as a defensive staff, it all kind of starts at the top. Our defensive coordinator, Trey Morgan, he's honestly, I mean, he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. His level of preparation, the level of trust that he puts in us as assistants. I mean, that guy just has us. I mean, every single week we know as coaches, hey, Coach Morgan, when we sit down and make the game plan, he's going to have stuff figured out. And the kids know that too. And just having somebody like that with that level of experience and knowledge, it's invaluable to us as a staff. And honestly, when we are well prepared, it's because Coach Morgan got us that way. So I would say he's honestly the key to everything we do as a defensive staff. So we do, from what I understand, and I mean, we're kind of walking that line right now of, we're telling the kids, I mean, there are scenarios where we will keep playing football, and they need to know that. I mean, we've got to have a couple things go our way. I think part of it was a upset win, TLCA over early. So I mean, there's some stuff that is a little bit out of our control, but like I said, we've been walking that line of telling them, hey, there's a way that we get in, but also we've been telling them that, hey, if we don't show up on Friday, if we don't do our job, I know that this kind of sounds like the typical coach answer, but we told them, man, if we don't take care of business on Friday, if we don't take care of Ballinger, then no scenario really matters. So, that's where the kids have really impressed us, is their level of attention and focus to this week. They're not trying to look ahead to anything right now. Yeah, that's kind of the state of not even just high school football, just football in general right now. Is it's hard to stop people, and offenses, even if they start slow, they're most everybody is going to hit a stride at some point in the season. So yeah, Ballinger, they're really well coached. It seems like the kids are playing hard still, and they're getting hot at the right time. But us as a staff, defensive staff specifically, it's all about trying to get them to go to something they don't want to do. I know that sounds simplistic, but that's kind of our approach. Is we identify what we think they are going to want to do the most, and we try to take that away. And that's kind of how defensive football has to be played now, is you just got to take away those money making plays for those offenses. And honestly, you spoke of Ballinger's offense kind of hitting their stride. I would say the last couple of weeks, our offense has really started to come on as well. So that's going to be a huge thing too, is the amount of ball control, the amount of control of the clock that we have. I think that's going to help us as a defense. It's going to keep us fresh. And I think that's going to make a lot of the difference. Yeah, I think it starts at the top. Honestly, I think me speaking personally as a younger assistant coach, I'm still pretty new to this. To have, I know, speaking for myself and some of the other young coaches, to have people like Coach Tankersley, Coach Morgan, and obviously our athletic director, Coach Teal. Having those guys that have such a wealth of experience and have just been there before, and have we know as a staff that we're all in it together. And if we're going to create something out here, it's going to take everybody. And they give us a really, really good example to look to every single day. They're going to think that I'm calling them old when I say that, but it's true. Having somebody that has all the answers and has kind of a vision for what they want this place to be, it just makes us work harder, and it makes us kind of want to match their level of intensity and just the right way to do things. They show us how to do things right every single day. So I think if the creek is going to rise, then Coach Teal is going to be the one to make that happen. So I believe fully in our staff and fully in him. Thank y'all very much. And y'all have a good day. Thank you for having me on.
This is a full-size truck that you can haul just about anything you can think of. And with a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty, you can drive it with ease. And tell me this, where can you get a full-size truck that's $10,000 off MSRP?
Get a new 24 Nissan Titan Pro 4X Crew Cab and get $10,000 off MSRP. Only at Jim Bass Nissan. Shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
It's a big truck for the big dogs.
Well, thanks again, Coach Barnes. That was a great interview, and it was a really good insight into what the staff thinks of their head coach out there and Coach Teal. And it's nice to see that the players, the coaching staff, and that entire community is behind what Coach Teal is trying to do. And so, congrats on that win last week, Grape Creek. But hey, you got business to take care of tonight when you go and play Ballinger. If there's any hope for you to make the playoffs, you're going to have some things happen for you. But hey, it's possible.
I know it's always easier just to go out and win a game and win and get in the playoffs instead of having to depend on people to lose. But hey, everybody here is pulling for you. We know that that whole school out there is behind this. The whole community. It's an unincorporated area. It's not a town or anything. It's just a Grape Creek school. The school is Grape Creek, and they love their football team, and they are very passionate about their athletics program. Speaking of passionate athletic program deals, we're going to go into our Player of the Week from Carpet Tech. Before we announce the winner, we just want to let you know that Carpet Tech is the proud sponsor of COVER1 Athletics, and this year brings you the COVER1 Player of the Week. Carpet Tech is your local go-to carpet cleaner. Remember, if your home is in a wreck, call Carpet Tech at 325-999-5142. All right, Chadwick, do we want to talk about other players, or should we just talk about our Player of the Week?
I can name drop some Bobcats real quick that I thought played really well last week, and I know that the result wasn't what they wanted in Permian because they couldn't punch it in the end zone, got down to the 5-yard line, like I think 3 or 4 times, ended up losing that one 42-14. You score all those times, all of a sudden it's a tie game, But Christian English threw for over 400 yards. Colton Hill had 11 catches for what was it, James? Because you corrected me, it was 148 yards.
You were off by like 4 yards. It was like 147 yards.
Yeah, so 11 catches for 147 yards and a touchdown out there as well. Both those guys balled out. I know Carmelo Miglio had over 10 catches as well, so congrats to those guys. They didn't win our Player of the Week this week because
the kid
he truly went off. So I'm just going to take it away, James.
All right. Our Player of the Week this week is Sonora Broncos running back Edgar DeLuna. He is the only player this week to win it twice. Of course, we probably could have given it to him several times this year. He had 21 carries for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns on offense. On defense, he was another monster. He had 10 tackles and 1 interception that he returned for a touchdown. Chadwick, let's talk about Edgar DeLuna.
The dude is a beast, man. So he had another 21 carries this week, and add that on top to all the other carries he has. He has a massive workload this year. Still almost put up another 200 yards. I know he's averaging like 230 yards a game. Another 3 touchdowns, a little bit lower than his average, but he still put two touchdowns in on the ground. But that defensive performance, not only are you carrying the ball 21 times on offense, but you're also getting 10 tackles. That means you're taking on blockers every single snap on defense at that linebacker position, getting to the ball carrier, hitting the ground, making big hits. And then, of course, linebackers who pick off the quarterback are rare, but a linebacker who pick off the quarterback and return it for a touchdown, congratulations, Edgar DeLuna. You had one heck of a game.
Yeah, I was when I was looking for players this week, I went to Sonora's page and I looked at interception, and it said 4 interceptions for Edgar DeLuna. It was just a typo, but I had to call Coach Weston and clarify because DeLuna has been such a monster this year. I would not put 4 interceptions in a game out of the realm of possibility for the kid. And you said he's averaging over 200 yards. What he's actually averaging is 237.9 yards a game. He's got 2,141 yards on the season on 153 carries and 32 touchdowns.
It's a bunch.
Yep.
It's a bunch. I can see now why he was officially invited for an official visit to Texas Tech University. Let's see that man put on the red and black and join the Red Raiders. So
he already wears red on Friday nights. Why not?
He does.
Keep wearing red.
But
you look good in red.
Congrats to our Carpet Tech Week 11 Player of the Week, Edgar DeLuna.
All right, and when we come back, we are going to be talking about our picks this week. But our picks are brought to you by the Pit Barbecue. Of course, we can't move on without talking about the Pit Barbecue for your Friday night eats. Skip out on the pizza and hamburgers from the stands and stop by the Pit Barbecue. This week, the COVER1 crew will be eating some pit pies, and man, they are delicious. Go get one today at 2330 Sherwood Way and tell Jesse the live COVER1 crew sent you. Moving on to our picks, Chadwick. Let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about Central and Frenship real quick.
All right, so Central's a heavy underdog in this one. Frenship is really good at what they do on offense. I do think Central's a little too young to beat them this year, but I believe in my Bobcats. I think that defense gets better and better every week. Forced Permian to punt the ball several times and had a takeaway as they normally do. On offense, they struggle to get in the end zone, but I don't think they'll have as much trouble against this Frenship defense. But I do have Central winning this one because I'm always going to pick my boys. They're going to play, spoiler, to keep the district championship away from the Tigers this week, and I have Central at 56-55. Everybody else, I know James went with Frenship. He looks like you have them in a high-scoring affair. Trammell picked Frenship, and then it looks like Everybody else picked Friendship. You know, whatever. I was the only guy who rolled with the Bobcats this year, but that's okay.
Hey. Let's just be honest, though. Yeah, we know Central is a young team.
Bunch of
First-year
haters.
defensive coordinator. You know, and I said at the beginning of the year, this is kind of like the Teen Titans going against the Legion of Doom, because everybody else returned all their seniors and all their, outstanding players, and Central graduated them all last year. But don't get me wrong, this Central team is going to be extremely good next year and the following year, as long as they just, keep
grinding that
you got to stack good days on good days.
They got to put some size on them, so they need an off season or two. They got too many 15 and 16-year-olds starting. So,
yep, and when you have 15 and 16-year-olds out there against 17, 18-year-olds, there's an obvious difference.
Yeah. But with that being said, though, I still picked them, and y'all just have no faith. It is what it is. But let's go ahead and move into our next game, that Ballinger at Grape Creek. James, go ahead. Take it away.
All right. Yes, the Creek is hitting their stride at the right moment after beating Brady last week. They will continue to ride that momentum, I believe. But Kyson Weathers and that receiving core and running back Zach Canada are going to make it extremely difficult on them. Canada had a great game when I saw him in person against Brady. I think the Grape Creek defense is going to be able to stop Brady or stop Ballinger when necessary. And it will be a low-scoring game, but I have Grape Creek riding their momentum, winning this one 14, Ballinger 10. Chadwick has Ballinger winning this one 28-14, a low-scoring game. Trammell has Grape Creek winning this one, and it is just Grape Creek. Everybody else, I think, has picked Grape Creek or Ballinger.
I guess I'm just, me against the world this week, James.
You against the world?
Like, apparently.
Hey,
because I think the Bearcats are going to win this one, man.
Wear it with pride. Wear it with pride, Chadwick. All right, let's talk about the Brady Wall matchup real quick.
Okay, so again, we said the Bulldogs come to town. After that tough loss in horrible conditions last week, I know Brady's going to come ready to play. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As I said before, Wall's averaging more than 60 points a game since district play started, and they're allowing less than 10. So I got Wall winning this one big, 63-6. And I know James is giving the Bulldogs 12 points, but he's still giving
14 points.
Or 14 points. But yeah, he's still giving Wall 56. And I know across the board, you don't even got to ask. Everyone just went all Wall Hawks.
Well, it's hard, like we said, Wall is just such a system, and there's just a different way of life out there at Wall.
And not to mention they're playing their best football. Like, I was talking to Coach Guy this week, and he said that he thinks Wall played their most complete game of the season last week against Early in the rain out there. Everyone was saying that was the de facto district championship, because Early had been rolling over people as well in district. But in that game, Wall just jumped out early and they flattened them. They put 50 on them. They only allowed a single touchdown, and here we are.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the last game we'll be at. This could very well be for district championship. This is Veribest versus Irion County. The Warriors 3 versus the Army of 2. I've already said it. Colton Loudermilk, Parker Posey, and Wyatt Morris are going up against Hunter Hallmark and Bryce Martin. This is going to be a good one. It will not end in a 45. This is going to go down to the wire. I have Veribest just barely edging out Irion County 49-46. And Chadwick has picked Irion County to win. He's going to go Irion County 64, Veribest 55.
So I also think it's going to be a close game. So
yes, I think that's on point.
General consensus.
And and it's a points deal right now. So if Veribest wins, all three of those teams will have beaten up on each other, and it could come down to points. I think they capped it at 15 or whatever. But right now, I'm pretty sure Robert Lee may have taken that second seed, depending on what happens in this one.
Yeah, but if Irion County wins, then there we go,
Exactly, you're right. When we come back, we're going to go to a quick message from the Bass Bunch real quick, but when we come back, we'll have our final thoughts.
Who are you going to talk about? I'll talk Lakeview. You want to talk TLCA?
Yeah, they're playing early, right?
Yep.
All right.
And TLCA needs to take care of against that Big Spring team last week, even though they were down, I think 28-0 at one point, and they came all the way back in that one, put up 42 points in the second half, ended up scoring 49 on the day, I think. It's either that or they put up 35 in the second half. But regardless, that offense was absolutely on fire in the second half. If they can replicate that in this Estacado game while trying to just kind of control the ball to keep it away from all their playmakers, I think that Lakeview can keep this one like extremely competitive. I was talking to Coach Guevara, and he says, man, like we're always right there. Like the injury bug always bites us at the worst possible time. He goes, I hate sounding like he's like, I'm not trying to make excuses because we got to show up and go. But this is a squad that when everything's clicking, they can really play together, and they proved that last week against Big Spring, or 2 weeks ago against Big Spring. But with that being said, I just want to wish the Chiefs good luck. Go out there and finish your season strong, and seniors, play hard and hold your head up high.
All right. I'm going to talk about TLCA early right quick. TLCA needs to take care of business tonight. They want that third seed. They need to go claim it. Early is, of course, they're an extremely talented football team. Their quarterback is playing lights out. But, hey, Lane Honey can play lights out as well. He needs to connect with Natavian Sykes and
Jaden Villanueva.
Jaden Villanueva, yes, they need to be playing on point tonight. And other games that might be some importance to some Contra Valley teams coming out. The Hawley is playing Cisco. It's looking like Hawley might win that district again. I think they would end up playing maybe Reagan County in the playoffs.
Yeah, and actually, I do got a little bit of tidbit out there for y'all. I can't confirm this for sure, but it looks like Early's quarterback might be hurt, so the young man might be back tonight. But it gives TLCA a better shot to win this one.
Yeah, it was one thing that happened earlier in the season. I think when they played Toller, that they said that quarterback may have gotten a little beaten up.
He's just been banged up all year, and we know how good Early is when they go out there and play their game, because they've done really well in district. Their only loss is to Wall, of course, but TLCA's got a real big challenge in front of them. But if they can win this game, they secure that 3 seed, and that's really important to winning that first round matchup in the playoffs, because no one wants to play a district champion.
You're right. All right, that has been the COVER1 pregame show. I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, Carpet Tech, Intertel, The Pit Barbecue, Angelo Bolt, Destination Ford, Hartman Roofing. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you at halftime.